Let's take a look at the schedule for our Minnesota Vikings for this season. Yo, welcome back to Vikes Vibes. This is DJ as always. How is it going, everyone? All right. The schedule has been released. I know it came out on Wednesday, May 15th, and a lot of people have been talking about it. But me personally, I wanted to wait a little bit to kind of digest it a little more rather than just jumping right into a video the same day. So, um, I have done that. I've kind of digested it, and I went, I sat down, and I went game by game, and I wrote down whatever came to my mind. So, not really with the three preseason games, but we have three preseason games. I mean, everyone does. And the times and dates are still to be determined on those, but we do know that we will have one home game and two road games. One home game and two road games. First one will be at home versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And then the second one will be in Cleveland to face a familiar face in Kevin Stefanski and his Browns. Um, and then the third and final preseason game will be in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. So I usually I do watch the preseason games, but I don't. I mean, I don't really pay as close attention just because the games really don't matter and not really any of the starters play. So, but this year, I have a feeling I'll be paying more attention for the simple fact that we will probably see a lot of playing time from our new rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy, and maybe Dallas Turner. But with him, I kind of feel like he's going to be a starter. So he might not get as much time as JJ. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So, but we'll see. Well, I'm sure we'll see some of Dallas. So, but JJ will be the main focus of the preseason, and rightfully so. With him getting some time in a pro game, it is just preseason, so we won't really know how he will, how he'll be against an actual starting NFL defense. So, um, let's start looking at let's start looking at the regular season now. So, week 1, we got on Sunday, September 8th at noon. We play in New York to play the Giants. We kick off the season on the road. We'll get to see one of the top wide receivers in this year's draft from LSU, Malik Neighbors, which is Michael Penix's teammate, which he went to Atlanta. Last year, the Giants weren't very good, but the year before that, they were very good, and they beat us in the wild card round of the playoffs. And if Daniel Jones has a good offensive line, I think they'll be tough week 1. But then there's the loss of their running back Saquon Barkley, which is huge. I think that Brian Flores in year 2 here, he has this defense looking good and stacked, and the Giants could be in for a long day. I have us winning that one on the road to go up 1-0, 1-0. Okay, so we go to week 2, our home opener against a tough opponent, the San Francisco 49ers, Sunday, September 15th at noon. Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy they're going to be looking for revenge as we beat them last year at home on Monday Night Football. So, I mean, that was one hell of a game. I mean, Addison's breakout game that night, he had a hell of a night. Cam Bynum with huge game-changing interceptions. I was at that game, and let me tell you, it was probably the best game from last season to end up going to. I mean, and the better thing about that is I didn't even pay for those tickets. I won a grand prize off of a radio station. And earlier in the season, I won tickets to the Chargers game. So I went to that game, and then I was also entered to win the grand prize, which was Monday Night Football tickets to see the Vikings and 49ers, which those tickets was in the Delta 360 Club, and I was like right by, right down there by the field. And I got to go and see the players come out and come in and out before the starting lineups are announced. And I actually got a high five from Cam Bynum and CJ Ham. So it was awesome. And the game ended up being so entertaining, and it was amazing. But anyways, um, this year we don't have Kirk, and we'll have Justin Jefferson this time, and Sam Darnold, who was a 49er last year, so that could possibly help us as he's somewhat familiar with Shanahan's playbook. You never know. That could help us. This game, I feel like if we're gonna win, our defense is gonna have to have an amazing game because this team can score in a hurry with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and our offense. We can't be stagnant on offense against the 49ers defense, which is always tough. With Nick Bosa, and I don't think they have Chase Young anymore, but their defense is it's been good for a while. So, let's see here. We need to move the ball and get points. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? This is going to be a tough task right away, week 2. But honestly, I kind of I like it. Test our team early on, and hopefully it impacts how the rest of the season goes for us. I have a feeling that we are going to fall short in this game, and we're going to end that week with a 1-1 record. So moving on to week 3, Sunday, September 22nd at noon. At home against the Houston Texans, our old pal Diggs the Diva. This Houston team is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. D'Amico Ryans has done an outstanding job so far there in Houston. And they definitely got their guy at quarterback, CJ Stroud. Had a hell of a rookie season last year. He'll kill you in the air and on the ground if he has to. And now with them getting Diggs, and they have Tank Dell, they have Nico Collins, they got Joe Mixon at running back now. They got a lot more dangerous than they were last year, and you better watch out for the Houston Texans. Man, with all those offensive weapons, this This is going to be another tough battle, but I think this time the outcome will be a little different. It'll be a close game, but we will come away with the dub at home against the Texans, and then we'll be 2-1. Moving right along to week 4, Sunday, September 29th at noon. We're at Green Bay to take on Jordan Love and the Packers. You know, I was before the schedule came out, usually every year before the schedule comes out, I always am hoping that we're going to have to go to Green Bay early in the season. And that's how that we're going there week 4. And I love that because that means we don't have to go play there when it's freezing out later on in end of December or end of November and December. So I like this. I do. This Packers team, they shocked a lot of people last year, including me, especially of late, because Jordan Love was playing out of his mind at the end. And now they added Josh Jacobs at running back, who has been NFL leading rusher. But we got Aaron Jones now, and I hope he's going to be fired up and stomp all over his former team. Man, I think this will be a hard, tough played game, and I have a feeling, barring any major injuries, that we will pull this one out, and we will be 3-1. Okay, week 5. Across the pond we go to London to take on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. This will be the first time we play Rodgers since he left the Packers, which no one really has played him since because his season ended after about 4 plays last year. So no one's really played him since he left the Packers. But I mean, this game was very tough to digest for me, just because the Jets are usually not very good at all, but if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, and I mean, how much of a difference and impact will that have on the team's performance? We have had, a total of 3 games in London, this being the 4th, and we have not lost any of them. We beat the Steelers in 2013, the Browns in 2017, and the Saints in 2022. Which the one in 2022 against the Saints, that's when then rookie Lewis Seen had that gruesome injury. Despite the Jets more than likely having Aaron Rodgers for this final game, I don't think they'll have enough to beat us, making us 4-0 in London and 4-1 on the season. Week 6. This is our bye week. Very early bye week this year. Going into it 4-1 and feeling good, but having a bye this early makes me very, very nervous because the end of the season is gonna take a toll on this team. 12 straight weeks playing after the bye. That break later on in the season would have been nice once you get to that point. Let's just hope that we can stay as healthy as possible and have a good mentality, leading up to the bye and especially after the bye, because week 6 bye and then you don't get a week off at all the rest of the way, like that might be tough. Like, we don't have that much good luck in the past coming off of bye weeks to begin with. So I don't know. The one thing that is nice about this bye week, though, is it comes right after our London game, which the NFL usually they usually do that for teams that go to London. Uh, the next week they usually have a bye week just because of the travel and stuff. So going to week 7, Sunday, October 20th at noon, we are at home against the Detroit Lions, going up against Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions, man, they've just kept on improving, and it's always going to be a tough game against them. And we're more than likely not going to have TJ Hawkinson for this game. He won't be quite back yet, I don't think. Because everywhere I see his return is basically, around Halloween. So this is like right before he could come back, and maybe he comes back early. Who knows? So he probably won't be suiting up for this team or this game against his former team this time. But this game, this is where it could possibly get interesting, people. We all know how good the Lions are. Something in my head when I sat down and looked at the schedule and really thought about it, something in my head tells me that if Darnold is still starting at this point, that the Lions might be too much for him, and we could possibly see JJ McCarthy come in for his first regular season NFL snap. Despite having our future quarterback of the franchise coming in this game, I think the Lions take the dub here on the road, and we leave with a 4-2 record. Week 8, Thursday night football, Thursday, October 24th. We got a short week coming off that loss against the Lions, 7:15 prime time. We're at Los Angeles to take on Stafford and the Rams. Kevin O'Connell's former team, and could we possibly see both Michigan teammates play in this game? That of the Rams running back Blake Corum and Vikings quarterback JJ McCarthy, as they were Michigan teammates and won a national championship together. At this point, I think KOC is gonna make a decision on the starting quarterback. Like, I want to say Wednesday morning, like the day before the game. My gut tells me he keeps Darnold as a starter, but he's going to be on a short leash in this game. Another thought, though, too, is I, I don't know how bad or desperate, I guess. I don't know how to word it. But how bad Kevin O'Connell's going to want to beat his old team. I mean, you always want to win, obviously. That's the point. But maybe he's going to be like, hey, let's break out my shiny new toy, JJ McCarthy, and start him against my old team. I mean, this game is tough to pick as well, but I think we bounce back from the loss against the Lions, and if it's not looking good early on, then I think Kevin O'Connell will adjust and fix it in time to win this game, and we'll go back home with a 5-2 record. Week 9, Sunday, November 3rd at noon. We're at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, remember the last time the Colts came to town? I sure do. I actually had turned the game off for a while in the second quarter, but the rest of the game, that's for the history books, as we completed the biggest comeback win in NFL history. This time around, I don't think it'll be like that. I'm torn on this game too. And if, and I mean if, quarterback Anthony Richardson and running back Jonathan Taylor can stay healthy and are healthy for this game, I think they might win. But I am not banking on that at all. Week 9, just going off of past seasons and injuries, especially with Jonathan Taylor, um, and the big uh, injury that Richardson had last year. I just, something in my gut tells me week 9 they're not going to both be healthy. I don't see that happening. So in that case, we take the dub here. It won't be a huge comeback, but it won't be a blowout either. So I think this will be a close game, possibly. So we will be 6-2 after this game. Week 10, Sunday, November 10th at noon. We're playing at Jacksonville against Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I feel like the Jaguars keep getting closer and closer to turning the corner, but it's like inch by inch. It's very, very slow. I definitely think Doug Peterson as the head coach here helped improve them a lot. Um, you know, at first when I looked at this game, I was like, oh, that's going to be a trap game. But then I thought about it more, and I'm like, it can only be a trap game if that team isn't good, which isn't the case because the Jaguars are good. They're not crazy good, but they're not. It's not. They're not as bad as to be like, oh, that's going to be a trap game. So I have a feeling that if things go as I said before with Sam Darnold, this could possibly be JJ McCarthy's first NFL start of his career. And even though all us Vikings fans will be absolutely ecstatic and hyped about this, I don't see it going the way we want it to. Even some of the best QBs, they didn't start out so good. So if this happens, people, just pump the brakes. Just pump the brakes. It's one game. He's a rookie. Just pump the brakes. I just see JJ maybe throwing a pick or two, which will determine the outcome of this game, where we end up falling to the Jaguars, making us 6-3. Now, week 11, Sunday, November 17th at noon. We go to Tennessee to play Will Levis and the Titans. This game gave me lots of trouble when thinking about it as well. Here, I think that we'll have some injuries on our defense at the time. I think their new running back, Tony Pollard, former Cowboy, unfortunately will light us up on the ground and in the passing game. Our offense will be much improved from the last game, but the missing pieces on defense is what is going to kill us here, giving us our second loss in a row to make us 6-4. Week 12, Sunday, November 24th at noon. We are at Chicago to take on number 1 overall pick quarterback Caleb Williams and the new look Bears. We could potentially see 2 rookie quarterbacks facing off against each other in this one. We might possibly get our defensive guys off of injury that I said before. And if not, I still feel like Brian Flores will still figure out a way to improve this defense drastically compared to the last game. As much as I would love to just destroy and ruin Caleb Williams' day here. I I feel it could be a rookie quarterback shootout between Williams and McCarthy. Both guys just playing an outstanding game. You know, Caleb with DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore, and JJ McCarthy with Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and possibly TJ Hawkinson. It might come down to one possession or one play to determine the outcome. And I think the Vikings squeak one out here at Soldier Field to make us 7-4. Moving on to week 13, Sunday, December 1st at noon. We're at home against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Another top 10 pick in this year's draft, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, them having him might make them a little better, but to be honest, I'm not really worried about the Cardinals. But I ain't going to let my guard down here, though, because that's when you fall for a trap game. And this very well could end up being a trap game. This game, I think, will be all about our defense. Dallas Turner will sack Kyler. Tambeezy will get a pick. Ivan Pace Jr. will get a sack. Defense will definitely help our offense in this game as we take the dub in front of our fans at home to make us 8-4. Week 14, Sunday, December 8th at noon. We're at home against the Atlanta Falcons, people. Old Kirko is back in town. Us Vikings fans really want to stick it to him. We have this game circled and underlined on our calendars. We've been waiting all season for this game. Man, the crowd at the bank is gonna be absolutely deafening when Kirk Cousins steps out in that huddle in a Falcons uniform. He ain't gonna be able to hear a thing. And I know Kirk thinks he's gonna be in a better situation here, but here in week 14, he will already have figured out that he is not, because he hasn't had as much success this season as so far as they would have liked. He'll be flustered and frustrated in this game, and I'm going to love every single moment of it. This one is going to mean a lot more, not just for us fans, but for the players and the team. Everyone in purple and gold will absolutely be jacked after we beat Kirk and his Dirty Birds to make us 9-4. All right, week 15, Monday, December 16th at 7 o'clock. Monday Night Football. We're at home against the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams comes to town, and him and the Bears, they're looking for revenge from a couple weeks ago. And sadly, I believe they did it here. After such a big, exciting win against our former quarterback, we unfortunately have a hangover from that and don't play up to par on Monday Night Football. DeAndre Swift will get at least 2 touchdowns, and Keenan Allen will get another one, as well as let's see here. I'm confused on what I was saying. Swift will get at least 2 touchdowns, either running or passing, and then Keenan Allen will get another one as well. And we will fall to the Bears at home, and that will make us 9-5. Week 16, Sunday, December 22nd at 3:05. We're at Seattle to play where the 12s are loud for their Seahawks. Um, you know, I didn't really think much of this game. I in my gut, I just have a feeling that this game might end up being boring. Just kind of gloomy Seattle weather and a very low scoring game, but we find a way to win against the Super Chickens, as Paul Allen calls them. Uh, then we will be 10-5. Our week 17, Sunday, December 29th at noon. We're at home against the Green Bay Packers. Last year, late in the season, the Packers completely just killed us, but not this time. Aaron Jones killed us. Well, now we got him, and Jordan Love won't have as good of a game as he did last year against us. Aaron Jones is going to go off on his former team and have 1 rushing touchdown and 2 receiving touchdowns. Man, the Packers are now going to feel what it's like to be killed by Aaron Jones. We're going to be 11-5. Week 18. The date and time on this game is still to be determined. We will be in Detroit playing the Lions, final week of the regular season. Now, I think this game is going to be the toughest game of the season. Detroit's defense is going to attack us hard, but we ain't backing down. Jefferson is going to have a hell of a day, as he always does against the Lions. Our whole team is going to be just gassed, but they ain't stopping. They're going to fight like hell, especially since I think the outcome of this game will determine our playoff fate. Our offense is going to drive the ball down the field at the end of the game, and our kicker will have a walk-off winning field goal to give us one hell of a hard-fought win. We're going to end the season 12-5, which will put us in the wild card round in a stacked NFC conference. So that's my predictions week by week. 12-5. This is all just speculation, obviously, and some of it, or a lot of it, it might be a little dramatic or too flashy. But I just sat down, looked at the schedule, and took it game by game, week by week, and just started writing down my thoughts that came to me at the time. So, do I think it'll all play out this way? No, absolutely not. I have a feeling I'll probably be completely wrong, like with the wins and losses. Even like I don't know, but I mean, no one could ever predict all that and end up being spot on. So it's just what my mind had pop up at the time as I was going through those games. I just wanted to share my thoughts and somewhat of my predictions with you. So that is my breakdown of the Vikings 2024 season. We're going to end 12-5 regular season. We're going to be in the wild card. And we're going to go from there to possibly see JJ McCarthy, about halfway through the season. It's just all speculation. Don't kill the messenger here. It's just some thoughts. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure. So let me know what your thoughts on the schedule are below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just one click, hit subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. See you later.